because I would have never got her name right. So I'm glad I can see it. Okay, sweet.
Okay, Shannon, you can put us on the record now.
You know what? You're right. It is because of this, because now I can't record.
So there is a conflict with
It's
it.
gotta be, because yep, it says recording aborted, video device not responding. So.
Because it's tied up with this. This
Yep.
is really, Peter, how do I do a print screen? I want to save this so that our tech guy can see what happened this morning.
I'll give you that FN and this one. That ought to do it.
Can you check the printer and see if it came?
I don't know if it'll print it or if it'll save it directly to your.
Oh, I got you. Did it print it?
I didn't print it. I don't know where it would have saved it to. Let me hop on the K drive and see if I can find it.
All right, so Shannon, what I'm going to do is kick you out.
Okay.
Will that let you start the?
Let me see.
Wow, that was really interesting.
Nope, it sure won't. So let me try to pull this up again.
Okay, can you close your recorder and then reopen it?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Mr. Singh, you can come up and have a seat. Either one of those chairs is fine.
I can do it.
So now we are now on the record in the matter of Cormark versus Kevin and Nick Inc. and Singh.
Now you're gonna have to spell her name for me, please.
Because you can't see it now.
No, I can't see it.
Jessica Noder Berardino for the plaintiff.
Does she need me to spell my last name?
Oh, I can do it. I can read it on the screen. Notarberardino.
Okay, yes. Half of the.
Okay, and this is your motion to strike the answer that was filed on behalf of the corporate defendant and to enter a default against that corporate defendant. I've read your motion. It is well grounded. So, Mr. Singh, I want to make sure you understand the basis for her motion. The law is very clear in Michigan that only an attorney may appear on behalf of a corporation.
So I cannot appear with this corporation?
You can represent yourself as an individual, but you cannot represent a corporation. The only person who can represent a corporation or other type of legal entity that's recognized as a person under the laws of our state, they can only be represented by a licensed attorney, licensed to practice in the state of Michigan.
Okay, sir. I can explain one thing which is they filed it wrong, which is I'm a manager of that corporation. I'm not owner. And
it really doesn't matter whether you're the owner or the manager. The point of law is simply that corporation can only be represented by a lawyer. So you can't show up in court and assert a defense on behalf of the corporation. Only a lawyer can do that.
okay.
You can represent yourself. If you're not an owner of the corporation,
Yes.
the owner of the corporation is the one that has the responsibility through its officers to defend, to arrange for an attorney to defend it. That wouldn't be your obligation anyway. So if you're not an owner of this corporation.
So what I'm saying, why they send me a notice from the court and is on my name is going there?
Well, I can tell you, you were named as a defendant because you were a guarantor of an obligation. You guaranteed an obligation on behalf of the corporation. I didn't
Oh,
actually,
it's their work, I don't understand,
hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to explain
Yeah,
this
thank
as
you.
best I
Thank you, Mr.
can.
Judge, but I'm saying, I have no idea, for this.
All right, well,
matter.
hold on. Let me look at the document that was signed.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was attached. Okay, so we've got a Cormark business credit application. It shows you as the applicant. It shows the business as Northside Party Store. It shows the full legal name of the business as Kevin and Nick Inc. It shows Andy Singh as the primary contact. Who is that?
that's me.
Oh, okay. So are you an officer of this corporation?
No. Because of,
And you're not a shareholder of the corporation?
no.
What is your relationship to the corporation?
I'm there as a manager. I'm managing that store. And the Cormar, the salesperson came in and, he said, we got a better product, better this and that, So that they gave me a paper sign up, we're gonna start delivering you guys. And I signed that paper, that's, maybe that's why my name is there. A lot of people, they cannot pronounce my real name. They go by Andy, So my nickname is Andy.
Well, whether or not you had authority to bind the corporation to this agreement
Okay,
is not something that's in front of me today.
okay,
Clearly, you did sign a continuing general guarantee of payment.
okay,
That puts you on the hook personally for this obligation.
that's fine.
As to the corporation, let me see.
So that's not mean I cannot present by myself if I granted for that.
You can represent yourself
Yes,
as to the personal guarantee.
yes.
You cannot represent the corporation.
No, I'm here because my name is there,
Okay. So, and I was just looking for the, the proof of service of the summons. So it definitely shows that you were individually served
Yes.
at 751
that's my home.
Pemberton.
Yes, sir.
But
We
it
also-
shows,
On behalf
it
of
shows,
the corporation as well.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that return. It says the person served was Kevin and Nick Inc., but it doesn't show the individual who actually was served with with process.
It was
It does
Mr.
show Mr. Singh.
Yes, because originally we submitted 2 proofs of service with his name on it, and then it was revised to show that one of them is for him served as an individual, and one of them he was served on behalf of the corporation.
If he's not an officer or the resident agent, it would appear you probably don't have good service on the corporation. Did you look into that? And he's telling me here today, he's not the corporation. He's not an owner. All he does is manages this store on behalf of the corporation.
Yes, I do see that he's not the registered agent. From what I can assume, I believe we were serving him as person in charge because he had signed on behalf of this, but we can go back and the registered agent on behalf of the corporation. That's what we need to do, and you would grant us the time to do that.
I would absolutely give you that. Do you, sir, happen to know who the resident agent of the corporation is?
I'm sorry, who owner of the corporation?
No. Well, hold on.
I do have it here. It's an Opinder Kaur.
That's Kinderjeet Singh, that's my name.
No, she read something else. Spell what you're looking at, Counsel.
Okay, the first name that I have, Opinder, and the last name, Kaur. That's who I have, registered agent.
Do you know who that is?
Yes. Who's our store owner?
Okay.
Yeah.
So Counsel, it certainly would appear that by serving Mr. Singh, you probably do not have good service on the corporation.
Okay.
So just to be clear, you're absolutely correct. The answer that was filed needs to be stricken because Mr. Singh does not have is not an attorney and cannot file an answer on behalf of a corporation. But in terms of the answer, insofar as it applies to him, so I guess the answer is stricken, but only insofar as it pertains to the corporate defendant.
Okay.
And then you need to get good service on the corporate defendant, and I guess I'll probably see you back on that.
Okay, so would you like me to prepare an order stating this, and how much time do we have to get service on the registered agent for the corporation?
The original summons is probably expired.
Yeah,
I don't think I can extend a summons that's already been expired. You might have to look into that. I'm not sure what the court rules provide for that. I haven't encountered this situation before. Look at the court rules and see what's needed. I do know that I cannot extend the expiration of a summons after it's already expired, but there ought to be some mechanism for issuing a new summons. And I'll leave that up to you to figure that out and just present whatever authority you have to the court. But as far as the motion to strike, I can grant it only insofar as the answer applies to the corporate defendant.
Okay, so I will submit an order stating just that portion, not the default judgment against that, and then we will figure out what we can do about serving the correct individual with the summons.
Okay. So Mr. Singh, because you signed a personal guarantee,
Yes,
You're personally on the hook for this, but I would strongly recommend you talk to the owner of the corporation. They're the ones that got the benefit of this contract.
yes.
They should be stepping in and making you whole on this obligation. You might want to consider filing some kind of a cross claim against the corporate defendant
Okay.
to make sure you don't get stuck with this bill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but what is for me suggestion, because I have not a whole lot of, the experience or, kind of code and.
The best thing you can do is hire an attorney. I can't really give you legal
No,
advice.
I'm saying
I
that.
can
that's
give
my
you
thing.
procedural advice
Uh-huh.
that to make sure you get moving in the right direction, but
Okay, I will talk to the owner and see what's going on. So after that, probably I have to file against the corporation, and they're gonna, they're gonna offer me a picture. They're gonna file to against corporation, or how it's gonna work?
you could very well be able to file what's called a cross claim
Okay,
against the corporation. But what I would do is see an attorney about that. I don't know. How much is the total obligation here, counsel?
It is. See if it's coming right. Is 2,690.36.
Okay, substantial sum of money. Are you still managing this party store?
yes,
Yeah, I would definitely talk to the owner. They're the ones that should have paid this bill.
yeah,
So you shouldn't, at the end of the day, have to get stuck with it based on what you told me. But you're going to have to make sure you get representation to make sure your interests are properly represented, because this plaintiff has every right to come after you for that obligation because you signed a personal guarantee.
yeah. But if in future they want me to come back again, so I have to have an attorney, or I can present myself as.
You can represent yourself.
Yeah, because I don't have that kind of money to hire
I'm-
an attorney right now,
I'm still recommending that you hire an attorney, sir. Now, if the owner steps up and says, "Don't worry, we're going to take care of you," and you can rely on that, I'll leave that up to you. But the reality is, be careful what you sign.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
So I wait for another someone, or I wait for another letter from you guys or from them?
Well, she's going to move forward as to the corporation. Okay. And she's going to take whatever steps she needs to do. You have filed an answer that's good for you
Thank you.
individually,
Yeah.
but at some point you're going to be back here for your day of reckoning.
Thank you, sir.
So if I were you, I would get an attorney to make sure you don't have to pay this out of your own pocket.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Well, that was very interesting, Shannon. That's exactly the problem.
That is exactly the problem.
All right, let's see what I
That
got.
is the problem. I think that you should make a sign out of what you just said.
What?
Watch what you said.
Watch what you signed, yeah. So what do we got here?
Yep, that is exactly.
I'm gonna see who these people are. I don't see their names on the docket sheet, but. Okay, I know, let's see, Mr. Murray, you're here in the Foster versus Moss matter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jennings, are you as well?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, what matter are you here on?
I'm here on the Robert Curvin and Dawn Curvin versus Billy Heim matter. It's just a show.
All right. Are you expecting the other counsel to appear on that matter? Because no one else is here yet.
The other counsel probably won't appear. I was just waiting to see if somebody for USAA would show up, because that's who the show cause is for.
Gotcha. And Mr. Murray, are you expecting plaintiff's attorney to appear for your motion?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. We had a deposition a week and a half ago. They didn't mention anything. There's no response. So don't believe there's any opposition.
Okay, well, let me handle that first then. Foster versus Moss. Shannon, Mr. Jeffrey Murray, on behalf of the defendant with a motion to adjourn the scheduling order. There's no opposition to that, so I'm going to grant the motion. We will set dates as you've indicated, and then a pretrial and trial date. I'm assuming there's a jury demand in this case.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not going to know until sometime in May, realistically, when I'm going to be able to start doing jury trials again.
Okay.
I think there's a good chance, based on what I've been hearing recently, that I will be able to start doing jury trials in May. But the process is going to be a little bit cumbersome. So we're still trying to work our way through the details. We'll be picking a jury off-site where we have room to distance the pool. And the real logistical problems are how we do that here at the courthouse. I think I have a workable solution. For trial purposes, we will distance the jury in the spectator section of the courtroom. And then it looks like we can use the jury assembly room for deliberations and for whenever we need to excuse the jury from the courtroom. Although I'll need to share that with some other judges, so we just have to make sure that no one else has got a jury trial going on at the same time. But those details are finally starting to come into focus for us. So unless our numbers continue to climb in Michigan, as they have very recently, that would be my hope.
Okay.
So I will grant your motion. If you could submit an order that contains the specific dates that are in your motion, and then just leave blanks for the pretrial and the trial date, and I'll have my secretary for civil matters fill in those dates for you.
All right, will do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Murray. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, and next up is Curvin versus Heim. And Mr. Jennings, who do you represent?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here on behalf of Billy Jack Heim.
Okay. The motion to show cause to compel USAA to respond to your subpoena.
Yes. So we were here about 3 weeks ago. So on March 5th for the show cause hearing, you granted the show cause hearing. So today was the date and time that either USAA was supposed to produce records or show up to this hearing date and explain why they haven't produced the records. I haven't heard any or received any correspondence from them with regard to why they haven't or they're working on it. I'm not really sure what the best solution is here. Kind of given
I'm not showing wait a minute. Yeah, I'm not showing in the file the actual order to show cause, which isn't surprising. It's probably floating around somewhere. Let me pull it up. I want to see what that says. And obviously, I'm not showing the proof of service of that order to show cause. So if I'm gonna order some penalty for USAA's failure to show today, I want to make sure that they got the order. So hold on a minute. Mr. Thompson, good morning. All right, I see the order. Let me see if I can pull that up and on base. So I've got the order.
Hi.
How are you?
Do you have, I don't see a proof of service that this was actually served on USAA.
You know,
Have-
I remember having this conversation. We sent it out with a green card, but I don't think we've gotten it back one way or another.
All right, hold on a minute. I am seeing a proof of service. Okay, the proof of service just shows service by first class mail.
Okay.
If in fact it was sent certified mail and you don't have a green card in hand showing that it was actually received, that would explain why they're not here today.
Correct. Yeah, and you know, and maybe in the future we should probably set the show cause hearings out a little bit further than 3 weeks, because we can't really depend on, you know, the mail to get stuff there as soon as we would like.
So we can, well, let's see.
Well, maybe the thing to do for now, Your Honor, is just kind of let it play itself out. Hopefully they get the order to show cause and then they respond. I don't think we have any pressing deadlines. So if for some reason, you know, down the road they still haven't responded, you know, I can always come back and file another motion. And that way, you know, we'll have this history of the motion, the show cause hearing, and then whether they get notice. When we do get that green card back, we'll know that they've at least received it. And then we can take further action later on.
You can, I think you could simply do a re-notice of hearing on the show cause order. If you reach a point where you've got service, but they're still not cooperating.
Okay.
I don't want you to have to file another motion. You've already done what you needed to do. So I would be comfortable with that.
All right, that works then. So if we don't receive something in the near future, then we'll just do a renotice and make sure we do it far enough out that we can accomplish service with the renotice date.
Okay, very good.
All right, thank you.